Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Tailgate Tuesday. It's main event time from Michigan International Speedway, and it's the final regular season race of the 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series season. A lot of these drivers have a lot to prove, and some of them have a huge opportunity here to punch their ticket into the playoffs. Some of them need a win coming into this race, and some of them comfortably locked in, just trying to tally up more playoff points for the 7-race playoff system. 20 drivers started this race. 100 laps is the distance. Stage 1 is 20 laps, and these drivers are a couple of laps short if it were to go green the entire way for all of Stage 1. I'm NOSSCAR CEO Tyler McMurder, alongside the in-race reporter Alex Tesdahl, the driver of the number 98 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports. First of all, thanks a bunch for joining us. Secondly, how's the truck feeling? And what's the vibe been like out there? We know there's already been an incident coming out of Turn 4. The field is pretty spread, and there's still a lot of laps left in this one.
That truck feels pretty good. A bit loose, but good adjustments. Honestly, this is almost in the draft.
The draft is going to be a huge factor in who wins this one. Draft is going to play a major role in this. These trucks can roll around the bottom or the middle, and some can even venture up towards the wall, but mainly the main speed around Michigan International Speedway in these trucks on the preset sliders is mostly found down on the inside and the middle, and these drivers can work together and be nose to tailgate and gain ground on a group of trucks just in front of them. The draft is that powerful. A lot of these drivers were talking to me about it before the race began, and they were making it sound like it's pretty much a super speedway race out there. We're watching the battle right now for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th between the 40 of Dustin Franklin, the pole sitter, his teammate Ayrton Frederick in the 45, Aaron Garcia in the 26, and Cameron Norton is back in his number 3 truck. He missed the race earlier tonight at Eldora Speedway, but here he is for the final regular season event. He's locked into the playoffs based on points, that number 3 truck is. And this is all happening inside the top 10. It's the second group of trucks. Timmy Brown in the 8 truck is scored in the 3rd position. Having a great start to this race. There's a couple trucks on pit road getting service. Scorpion, the number 52 Toyota Tundra, one of the drivers out of France in today's event. There's 2 of them out there, the 52 and the 16. And Scorpion's on pit road. But what a run so far for Timmy Brown in the 8. Looking for his first ever NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series win, and he needs a win. Excuse me, no he doesn't, folks. He's in a playoff spot as of now, but if he wants to have any hope to advance all the way to the championship 4, he's going to need to start tallying up a couple more playoff points to that total, and a win would certainly do that. He's scored in the 3rd position, and now he's actually going to take the race lead as Jesse Carlson in the 88 and Jordan Roughton in the 17 are both going to come to pit road. Oh no! And Trenton Krentz in the 18 truck, heavy contact with the inside wall as he was trying to come to pit road, and pit road is a very busy place right now. Evidently nobody was able to stretch the tires and the fuel to the full length of the stage. Cameron Norton getting service, Aaron Garcia getting service, and others. There you see Trenton Krentz in the 18 rolling by on your screen. It's going to be interesting to see where everybody cycles through at the end of this one. I think that 2 tires was the call for Jordan Roughton in the 17, and maybe even Trenton Krentz in the 18. And just confirm with us that the 8 is the leader.
88.
Oh, the 88, okay. So at the end of the cycle of pit stops, Jesse Carlson in the 88 truck is going to assume the race lead here in Stage 1. Scott wins this season. He's locked into the playoffs. Doesn't need to worry about any of that coming into tonight, whereas some of the other drivers really do need to think about the playoff picture and think about who they're racing for these positions. The top 3 at the end of the race get playoff points, 3 playoff points to the race winner, a playoff point to the driver who finishes in 2nd, And another one for the driver who finishes in third. But these stage wins, they also give out a playoff point, and that's what Jesse Carlson is closing in on in that number 88 Ford F-150 for Steel Horse Motorsports. He's got about a half a straightaway lead over Jordan Roughton in the 17. And problems for Nick Donfrancesco in the 24. He's slow at the bottom of the racetrack, and that's through turns 3 and 4. He's below the white line, and I don't know if he's got a tire down or if he's out of fuel or what the deal is. Here comes the leader, though. That's Jesse Carlson right there, coming around him to put him one lap down. That's a heartbreaker for the points leader. Jesse Carlson coming to the start-finish line. And he's going to claim the Stage 1 win. That's it, wasn't it? Stage 1 win goes to Jesse Carlson from Steel Horse Motorsports. Jordan Roughton is going to claim the second spot. It's 4 points for him. Top 5 get these stage points. We're going to throw it down to the M-Race reporter, Alex Tesdall, to get the rest of the top 5 from Stage 1.
Top 5 is NASCAR Roof, PC Panthers, Eric James, Even Steven, and Bowman Nation.
Wow, so even after making contact with the inside wall during his pit stop, Trenton Krentz in the 18 is still going to get 4th at the end of Stage 1, and that's huge for him. He started 16th in this race, 20-truck race, and worked his way all the way to the front and got 4th in Stage 1. It's impressive for him. And how many trucks on the lead lap for the start of Stage 2?
I missed that.
Ah, no problem. Here we go, folks. The pole sitter, Dustin Franklin, is mired in traffic. He's going to be on the inside of row 4 for this restart, and it's going to be a Steel Horse Motorsports front row. The green flag is back in the air. Jesse Carlson, Alex Tesdall, 1-2. They got squeezed by Jordan Roughton, who made it 3 wide. Up the hill went the 2 Steel Horse trucks. And to the lead went Jordan Roughton in the 17. Oh, I don't know how happy they are about that, but Ayrton Frederick is right behind him now in second. Cameron Norton in the 3, right there in third. The 2-time world champion from Gran Turismo Sport, Trenton Krentz in the 18, riding the high line through 3 and 4. He's up there in the top 5. Oh, some blocking going on as they thunder into turn 1. So many different lines being used. They were 4 wide through 1 and 2 that time by. They still are, and they're side by side for the lead just in front of that. Down the back straightaway they go and into 3. Still door to door. Jordan in the 17, Ayrton in the 45, Jordan in the 17 down on the inside looking for his first ever NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series win. So is Aaron Garcia in that white and orange truck, peeking down to the inside, trying to make it 3 wide. Got better of it. Touch back in line. In behind Jordan in the 17, Ayrton in the 45 on the outside, looking for his 3rd career truck win and 2nd of the season. Got a big win earlier this season at Road America, and his win last year was also on a road course at Watkins Glen, so he would love to finally get his first ever oval win here in the trucks. So many different drivers have a shot to win this one. Look at them, folks. It's a 15 truck pack for the lead. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 has worked his way all the way up inside the top 5, but he's getting a shove from Josh Cole Diaz in the 23. Brett Baker got loose right in front of a couple of trucks. Beam SKP and Jason Armstrong had nowhere to go. Alex Tesdall got heavy damage as well. And I believe this is going to draw a caution. And it does. Wow. First caution of the race for an on-track incident. And it was a wild, chaotic crash over there that started with Brett Baker in the 2. He spun right in front of a couple of trucks. Armstrong in the 15, Beam SKP in the 16. They had nowhere to go. Armstrong, heavy contact. He was sent to the right, which was back onto the racetrack after he hit the 2 truck, and that was right in front of the 98 of Alex Tesdall and a couple of others, so it was a chain reaction, kind of a domino effect. And one truck making contact with another, getting ping-ponged around, and a few trucks escaping, but a few trucks escaping with heavy damage as well. We're under caution at Michigan. How many on the lead lap? Everyone? Yeah, 16 trucks on the lead lap for the restart here in stage 2. The green flag is back in the air. Jordan Roughton and Aaron Garcia led them to the line, and immediately Aaron Garcia changes lanes and goes to the bottom. Jordan's got the lead here, and he's holding the bottom pretty strong through 1 and 2 there. Now going down the back straightaway, pulls all the way out to the wall, and that's going to give the draft advantage to Ayrton Frederick in the 45, at least until the corner here. Beam SKP lost control right in front of Brett Baker, but there was another truck that lost control as well. Might have been Dave Marks Jr. in the 4, but we stayed green. Actually, I believe it was Nick Donfrancesco in the 24. Action all over this racetrack. There's still 2x2 up here at the front, and a lot of these drivers are looking for their first ever NOSSCAR Truck Series win. Jordan trying to make the tailgate of that truck as wide as possible, and he's trying to hold back the teammates, the 45 and the 40, and now they're 3 wide. They're going to try to split them on each side. To the lead goes Ayrton Frederick in the 45 on the outside, and I think he's going to lead this lap. Yes, he will, and they're 3 wide for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th just behind him. Oh, I was going to say they settled it back down to 2x2, but only for a moment. Back to 3 wide they went. This is through 1 and 2 now. Jordan's led the most laps in this race in the 17 truck. He's stuck in the middle groove and now back at about the 6th position with Jeffrey Robinson Jr. and Nick Donfrancesco, Jason Armstrong in the 15. They're all right there. Timmy Brown in the 8 is back on the lead lap and charging towards the front along with Cameron Norton and Beam SKP. They're all in this lead pack. There's about 11 or 12 trucks in this lead group, all of which have a shot to get up there and win stage 2. We've only seen 1 caution for an on-track incident, and right now the field is pretty spread. Even though there's about 12 trucks in this lead group, they're still pretty strung out at this particular moment. They're not bunched up. They're not boxed up 3 and 4 wide. We might see a long green flag run to the end of stage 2. And how about the pole sitter, folks? Dustin Franklin is back up front and leading the race. He's got a teammate right behind him in Ayrton Frederick running in 2nd. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23 runs in 3rd. Now remember, Dustin Franklin, he made the playoffs for the 2021 NOSSCAR Motormaster Series on Mondays in those Xfinity preset cars, but he has not participated in enough races here in the trucks to be eligible for the playoffs. Around went Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23. We're going to stay green.
Oh, yellow.
Oh, okay, never mind. We do have a caution. There's another truck turned over at the exit of turn 4, and we're going to stop them again, folks. 2nd caution of the race. Did this end the stage?
No. It's going to be like 3 to go on the restart.
Oh, man. Well, you heard it from the Embrace reporter. There you see the teammates side by side here, the 40 and the 45. They were battling for the lead when this caution came out. And they're going to be battling for the lead again when they take the green flag. And there's only going to be about 2 or 3 or 4 laps to go here in stage 2. It's the final race of the regular season. A lot of these drivers looking to punch their ticket into the playoffs. Here we go, folks. 2 by 2 they go. There's 16 trucks left on the racetrack. 20 started the event. The green flag is back in the air. A couple laps remaining here in stage 2. Three wide through 1 and 2. 4 wide. The two Nice trucks, 1 and 2. Armstrong in the 15 trying to get up there with them. He got into the side of Aaron Garcia in the 26, and a few of them spun to the inside and crashed.
That'll end the stage.
And that is going to end the stage, yes. Jordan Roughton got a piece of it. Trenton Krentz in the 18, heavy contact there. And Timmy Brown in the 8 as well. Heavy contact for a lot of these drivers that had a shot to go up there and win this stage. We'll get the top 5 from Alex Tesdall.
Ayrton does, Gypsy, Napa, Bowman.
How about that? Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. He's looking for his first career truck win, and he finds himself all the way up in the 3rd position. Nick Don Francesco in the 24 is in 4th, and he started at the tail of the field intentionally. And so now it's amazing to see him all the way up in the 4th position as we begin the final stage. Pole sitter Dustin Franklin is going to start in the 4th position. He's going to restart there for the start of the final stage, and it's going to be Ayrton Frederick and Brett Baker leading them to the line. The green flag back in the air. Clean restarts so far. Brett Baker jumping to the outside of Ayrton Frederick, and he's got help. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. is going to go with him. Ayrton Frederick and Jordan Roughton are the two trucks on the bottom in the 45 and the 17. Ayrton's going to lead this lap. Brett's going to settle in line into 2nd. And he's getting a push now from Jordan Roughton, and they're going to go up top. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. is going to change his mind, and he's going to go to the inside now and work with Ayrton. Nick Don Francesco is right there with them. Cameron Norton's going to jump up to the outside in the 3 truck, and they're drafting with each other heading into 3. So many different lines being used, and we knew that the draft was going to be a major factor in who won this race. A couple trucks working together are definitely quicker than one truck on their own out there. And there's a lot of blocking and a lot of zigging and zagging going on right now. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 all the way up into 2nd. Looking for that first ever NOSSCAR truck win. He just got kind of shuffled to the outside, but he's got the draft with a few trucks up there. Now he's going to be on the outside for a 3 wide here. And Brett Baker goes back to 2nd, right behind Ayrton Frederick. Wow, this is good action. It's hard to call all of it. There were 4 wide coming out of turn 4 there. They still are. They're 3 wide all the way back. This is unbelievable action here in the NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series, and we knew it would be a good race here at Michigan. And around goes Trenton Krentz right in front of a number of drivers, and that might bring out a yellow. 4 of them are in the wall. The caution is out, and I believe he hit the apron over there right in the middle of the turn. He was down on the inside line, and his truck snapped around, and heavy contact was made with a couple of trucks that were right behind him and had nowhere to go. Throwing it down to Alex Tesdall, in-race reporter. How many laps to go in the final stage here?
I'll let you know when we take the green.
Should say center of your menu.
It doesn't.
Interesting.
I already confirmed my pit stop.
All right then, caution is out, and we have 2 trucks off the racetrack. Robert Lohman Sr. in the 21, the 52 of Scorpion. So we have 16 trucks left on the racetrack, and they're all on the lead lap. Everybody's got a shot to win this thing. It's going to be all about utilizing the draft to their advantage, making the right moves, keeping their truck in one piece and being there at the finish. The green flag has been shown. Into the restart zone they go, across the line they go, and towards turn 1.
53 left.
Awesome, thanks a bunch. And Brett Baker, for the first time in this race, is going to take the lead here in the Great Lakes 200. Oh, and Cameron Norton slicing and dicing. He's going to go to the inside, and so is Nick Don Francesco in the 24. The Timac Motorsports Chevys down on the bottom, and they're being joined by Aaron Garcia in the 26. Jordan Roughton in the 17. Ford F-150 was going with him as well. And when the draft is a big factor, Brett Baker is always there at the end. He's the 2021 NASCAR Daytona 500 winner. 30 drivers entered that event. And Brett Baker parked it in victory lane. And here today for the truck race at Michigan, it's been all about the draft, it seems. And here he is. He's got the lead. He's been up there all race long as well. Cameron Norton completed the pass on the outside of Ayrton Frederick, but then contact was made between he and Nick Don Francesco up the hill. When Cameron in that 3 held onto it, and he's still in the top 5. Seems like down the straightaways, the outside line gets a pull because that's where most of the trucks are running. It's where most of the draft really is, and if you can hold on through these turns, even if you get challenged down low, as long as you're on the outside for the straightaway, usually you have a bit more drafting help. And Jeffrey Robinson Jr. spins on the back straightaway. What a save! He spun it in a 360 and grabbed a gear and got it back going again. He's not in the draft with this group anymore, but what a save, and he's going to stay on the lead lap, so if a caution comes out, he'll be saved, and he'll be back in the group on the lead lap and with no damage. Pardon me. How about Beam SKP? The lone full-time driver out of France. Recently brought his buddy in, Scorpion, to drive the number 52 truck for the same team at Rockstar Racing, and Beam's got a win this season. It was at the Brickyard 150 on the Indy Roval. He's locked into the playoffs, and he's really looking forward to it. I was talking to him about it. He's got high hopes. He thinks he can make the round of 8. He thinks the championship 4 might take a little bit of luck and maybe some additional driving skill that he maybe picks up over time from practicing. And he's really looking forward to it, and he's honored to be a part of it. They're all chasing Brett Baker. The points leader has found his way all the way up into second. That's the 24, Nick Don Francesco. If you've been following the 2021 season for trucks all season long on YouTube here on the channel, you would know that Nick in the 24 has been the dominant driver of the season. It's been a breakout season for him. And to the inside, when Ayrton Frederick in the 45, he's not only looking for second, but now he's alongside Brett Baker for the lead. He's going to lead that lap. Aaron Garcia in the 26 was giving him a heck of a push. And now Cameron Norton makes it 3 wide. Brett Baker got pinched into the wall because of it, and there's a big wreck there. I can't believe that. That's a shame for Brett. He was up there battling for the lead and looking for his first ever truck win. And then a moments later, he's crashed and heavy front end damage for the 2. He's rolling again, and he's on the lead lap, and he will be if a yellow comes out, but man, that's a heartbreaker. Kind of looked like Cameron in the 3 made a pretty aggressive move to make it 3 or 4 wide. I couldn't see how many of them were door to door at that point, and Brett just ran out of room. He was the one that was up near the outside wall through the grasses. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23, he held on to it, but he's going to lose the draft with this lead group. And there you see him. He's just in front of Armstrong in the 15. There's a couple of trucks that have lost the draft. Armstrong and Josh and Dave Marks Jr. in the 4 as well. They're
Yellow's out.
I was going to say, there was a couple of trucks crashing just in front of the group I was talking about on camera, and there's a caution on the Speedway. I believe that it involved Trenton Krentz, Beam SKP, and Jason Armstrong as well got a piece of it. He's got front end damage. Cameron Norton and Josh Colm-Diaz might have been a part of it as well. third caution of the race for an on-track incident. And we have under 40 laps to go when they take the green flag for the restart. We saw no cautions in stage 1. We saw 1 in stage 2, and now we've seen 2 more in the final stage. These drivers are picking up the anticipation and trying to get to the front. They know that the laps are running out. They know that it's all about the draft, and these restarts are a golden opportunity every single restart to pick up track position. So they're trying to make their moves as soon as possible. The green flag is back in the air. Ayrton Frederick, Jordan Roughton lead them to turn 1. Jordan lifted and got down to the bottom line to protect against Nick Donfrancesco and others. For the most part, they have gotten single file already. Three wide for second, third, and fourth, and wow, Ayrton driving away here while he's watching the 3 wide battle in his mirror, and they're 2x2 behind the 3 wide battle. Jesse Carlson in the 88 had a front row seat for that. Aaron Garcia in the 26 is going to be the big mover out of that, and he's going to take the second position away from the points leader, Nick Donfrancesco. Jordan Roughton tried to take third. He's down on the inside. Timmy Brown leading the second group. Whoa, he just got a little out of shape just behind them. Saved it, and he's still in line. How about Timmy Brown? You can see the white and blue Ford F-150 in the frame there, coming into the picture every now and then. He's up there in the 7th position. Former Brickyard 200 winner in the NOSSCAR Motormaster Series, looking for his first ever NOSSCAR Truck Series win, and he's having a strong run. Contact made there, though, between he and the 40 of Dustin Franklin. Up the hill went Timmy Brown, and he's still in the draft with this lead group. He's got it gathered back up now. He's got help with Cameron Norton in the 3 just behind him, and Armstrong in the 15 just in front of him. Ayrton Frederick leading the way. We saw a moment ago. I don't know if you guys saw at home, but Jordan Roughton in the 17 was all over the tailgate a moment ago heading into turn 1. That last time by, they're going into turn 1 again. We were watching a group deeper in the field, and way up front I could see that black and lime green truck really dancing around trying to get alongside the 45. And to the outside went Nick Donfrancesco in the 24. He's going to take the race lead for the first time all race long. Started at the tail of the field and has worked his way finally to the lead in the final stage. We'll get an update from Alex Tesdall on how many laps remaining when they hit the line this time by. And you heard it, folks. 2 wins for Alex this season in the Motormaster Series, none in trucks in 2021. Looking to change that here tonight in Michigan. He's in this lead group. He has a chance, and we're watching a good battle for the lead. And while we have quite a few laps remaining, and while we are under green flag conditions, we're going to crank it up, folks. We're going to stop commentary for a couple of minutes here, and we're going to go through the field, ride along on board with your favorite NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series drivers. Grab the volume knob in the process, listen to these engines on NASCAR Heat 5, and crank it up. And crank it down, folks. We're about to bring you back to full commentary. It's the final regular season race for the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series, hosted right here on NASCAR Heat 5. It's the Great Lakes 200 at Michigan International Speedway. 20 drivers started the race. It's a 100-lap event. 16 trucks left on the racetrack. All 16 of them are on the lead lap, and they're all chasing Justin Franklin in the 40. Ayrton Frederick, his teammate, right behind him in the 45. He scored in second. The points leader, Nick Francesco, in the 24, started at the tail of the field for this race. He's running in third. Aaron Garcia in the 26 scored in fourth. 2021 Daytona 500 winner Brett Baker runs in fifth. Jesse Carlson scored in sixth. Jordan Roughton is in seventh. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. is in eighth. The top 8 drivers have kind of separated themselves a little bit from the rest of the field, and there's a 6-truck pack in the second group, and that's being led by Cameron Norton in the 3. And if they can kind of get organized here, along with Alex Tesdall, Josh Colm-Diaz, Beam SKP, Armstrong, they might be able to run down this lead group if they get to battling with each other for the win. How many laps remaining, Alex?
31, I believe. Yeah.
Sounds great. 31 laps to go here in the Great Lakes 200 at Michigan International Speedway. 100% distance races, the full-length races here in these trucks on the preset sliders on Heat 5, and it's been a great season. It's been an exciting season, a lot of side-by-side battles for the wins, and a lot of first-time winners, a lot of home track triumphs and feel-good moments here for the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series. It's been a good season, and we're watching another good battle for another win here tonight at Michigan. Up the hill goes Ayrton Frederick. There was a little bit of contact made between he and the 24, Nick Francesco. Ayrton's going to settle in line behind the 24 in third. Jesse Carlson was trying to go with him. Doesn't quite have the drafting help down the straightaways. I was touching on this earlier in the broadcast. As long as you're on the outside, going down the back straightaways and the front straightaway, you usually are in line to have the most draft help. And they were 3 wide there a moment ago. Ayrton Frederick in the 45 was up top, and he got bounced into the wall. Deeper in the field, we have a truck spinning near the exit of turn 4. It's Armstrong in the 15, and he's going to bring it to pit road. He's locked into the playoffs based on points, Armstrong is, so he's not too concerned with getting a win or trying to get a certain amount of points here tonight, but he certainly does want to get the best finish possible every race. So it's a shame to see Armstrong have that incident there. He made it to pit road safely, and they're still all chasing Dustin Franklin. Dustin looking for his first career NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series win. He recently it was announced that he was a playoff driver. He made the playoffs for the 2021 NOSSCAR Motormaster Series and those Xfinity cars on Mondays. Has not participated in enough races here in the Truck Series to be eligible for the playoffs if he were to get a win here tonight at Michigan, but it would definitely be a feel-good moment. And what happened to the 24 there? Nick Francesco got unbelievably loose coming out of turn 2 that last time by. His truck disappeared. That's how loose he got. He went all the way down, well below the white line, to the bottom of the back stretch there, and he's gathered up and he's okay, but he might have lost the draft with the lead group, and that might leave 7 trucks to battle for this win. It's a shame for Nick. He's got 7 wins this season. The points leader. He pretty much has the points locked in hand to be the regular season champion and get the additional 15 playoff points, but his hopes of winning this one have kind of went out the window a little bit. He's going to need to somehow run down that 7-truck group in front of him, and that's not going to be an easy task, especially at a track like Michigan, where the draft is a big factor in this one. And pit stops are beginning. Green flag pit stops. We haven't seen those since stage 1. It's been a wild final stage. Trenton Krentz went for a spin trying to enter pit road in the 18. Dustin Franklin in the 40. Jordan Roughton in the 17, Jesse Carlson in the 88. They're all on pit road. Dave Marks Jr. in the 4 is just leaving. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23 is doing the same. And we'll have to throw it down to Alex Tesdahl, driver of the number 98 Ford F-150. Alex, is everybody able to make it to the end from here on without pitting again?
I think we'll have to make one more stop.
All right. Well, you heard it, folks. One more pit stop coming after this one, we think, and that's if it all stays green. I think if the yellow comes out, everyone's coming in again, though, because tires do seem to be very important, just like it is pretty much every race. It'll be interesting to see where everybody cycles through at the end of the green flag cycle of pit stops. Some drivers came 2 laps before, and some drivers are still coming to pit road, like right now, Ayrton Frederick in the 45 and Nick Don Francesco in the 24. I would have thought that Nick in the 24 would have maybe came to pit road when he lost control a moment ago. He'd already lost some time anyways on that lap, but he stayed out a couple more, and he's on pit road now. And I think this gives the lead back to the 40 truck of Dustin Franklin. And we'll have to get a confirmation from your in-race reporter.
Yeah, 40's out front.
All right, I thought so. And what a feel-good moment it would be for him to get his first ever NASCAR truck win. He's been doing good all race long. He's had a strong truck since the drop of the green flag. And he hasn't really fallen back too far in the running order. He's been in the lead draft, in the lead group for most of this race. Jordan Roughton right behind him in the 17. He's also looking for his first career NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series win. So is the driver running in 4th in the white and orange truck that you see popping into your frame every now and then, folks. That's Aaron Garcia. And there he is. And just behind him is Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51, former NASCAR champion on NASCAR 15 Victory Edition and Supercross as well. And he scored in 5th. So 4 drivers that are in the top 5 are looking for their first ever NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series win. Jesse Carlson in the 88 right there. He scored at 4th. He's got 3 wins this season. Nick Don Francesco scored in the 6th position, and Ayrton Frederick scored in 7th. They are running bumper to bumper, maybe even trying to work together to gain ground on the drivers that are just in front of them. It's Cameron Norton in the 3 there. There you see him. He's scored in the 8th position. And Jason Armstrong in the 15, right behind him, scored in 9th. Timmy Brown in the 8 truck running in the 10th position, with Trenton Krentz 11th. Alex Tesdahl is in 12th. To give you an idea on where some of your favorite drivers are running on the racetrack, Josh Colm-Diaz in 13th. 20 drivers started the event, 16 of them left on the racetrack. They're all chasing Dustin Franklin in the 40. We're going to take a short break from commentary again, and we're going to ride along with your race leader. bringing you back to full commentary, folks, and we're winding down the laps pretty quickly here at Michigan International Speedway. We'll get a laps to go update from the in-race reporter Alex Tesdall shortly. And the drivers running second, third, and fourth are chasing down the race leader.
16 laps.
All right, then, 16 laps remaining. And like I mentioned, folks, you can see it in your frame. Jordan Roughton in the 17, Jesse Carlson in the 88, and Aaron Garcia in the 26. They were working together, it looked like, to try to run down Dustin Franklin, but now to the bottom goes Jesse Carlson looking for second. They've driven away a little bit from Jeffrey in the 51. Jeffrey's trying to stay in the draft with them. Contact made between the 88 and the 17. They both held on to it. Scary moment there, not only for those two, but for Aaron Garcia as well in the 26. He was going to be right there with them if something were to happen. Jesse Carlson escapes with second, and Aaron Garcia is going to hold on to third. This is going into turn 3, and those three drivers battling allowed Jeffrey Robinson Jr. to get the draft with them again. So these are the drivers running second, third, and fourth, and they are trying desperately to run down Dustin Franklin before the end of this race. Ayrton Frederick in the 45 is scored in 6th, but he's a little bit behind these drivers, not in the draft with them. You can see his white truck popping into frame every now and then while we watch this group. To the inside goes Aaron Garcia in the 26, looking for second again. This is with 18 laps to go, and these drivers really not deciding yet who's going to be the lead truck in this group. Oh, contact made there. Jordan Roughton put Aaron Garcia up in the wall there. Aaron getting loose and going wobbling around the track. He hangs on to it. He went through the grass a little bit there, but that's definitely not the way you want to race the competition. Jordan Roughton getting a little bit too aggressive there in the number 17 Ford F-150, and contact was made. It cost them both the draft with this group, so it might have ultimately even cost them the win. And through all of that, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 took over second. And that's a shame for Aaron Garcia. He's now dropped back into the 5th position, and he's got no drafting help right now. Ayrton Frederick in the 45 has already peeled down pit road for his final pit stop of the race. McDon Francesco now scored in the 6th position, but he's yet to come to pit road for that last pit stop. Cameron Norton scored in 7th. Ayrton Frederick coming back onto the racetrack. He's made his last pit stop of the race. He's good to go on fuel and tires, and we're watching the battle for the lead here. Actually, it's Dave Marks Jr. in the 4 trying to get back on the lead lap if he can here. I believe he's already been to pit road, and he's trying to get one of his laps back the old-fashioned way here. And if a caution were to come out, he would have one of those laps back, and less work for him. Try to get back onto the lead lap. Right now, Dave does not want to see a caution, though. He wants to see these green flags cycle at pit stops, cycle through. So he is on the lead lap. The battle for second and third and fourth looks like this, and they still are pretty content on battling with each other. They're not working together to try to run down Dustin Franklin at all. And who knows, maybe they've already been trying and it's not working, so they would rather battle it out for second and third and fourth, but who knows? They're battling pretty hard. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. slips back into 4th now. Jesse Carlson, again, the lead truck in this group. Jordan Roughton goes with him. And 2 Fords and a Toyota trying to run down a Chevy Silverado in the final laps. Aaron Garcia in the 26, he goes to pit road for scheduled service. McDon Francesco stays out one more time, and he'll take over 5th for the time being. Oh, up the hill went Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. He's going to make it through 1 and 2 okay, but he might want to consider going down pit road. The tire's looking a little worn. Josh Colm-Diaz merging back onto the racetrack in the 23. 3 wins for him this season. He's locked into the playoffs, and it's not really been the night of racing he was hoping for. ran mid-pack for most of the race at Eldora. He was up in the top 10 for a while, but he finished outside of the top 10 in the end. And here at Michigan, he's been running outside the top 10 for most of the final stage, but a lot of the tracks in the playoffs are his favorites, so he's really looking forward to the 7-race playoff stretch coming up here after tonight. Pit road, a very busy place. Dustin Franklin, one of the drivers on pit road, as is Jesse Carlson, Jordan Roughton, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Cameron Norton. 5 different trucks that were all up there in the top 10 are on pit road getting service for the final time in this race. Dustin Franklin's going to beat them all out of the pits, and we'll see if he's the leader when this all cycles through. I believe he is going to be the leader. He had a commanding lead over the rest of the field. He may have stayed out a couple of extra laps, but I don't think it's long enough for anyone to leapfrog him in the running order. And we're going to throw it down to the in-race reporter, Alex Tesdall, the driver of the number 98 Ford F-150. Alex, it's been a long, grinding race here, a 100-lap event at Michigan, last race of the regular season. You qualified a little bit deeper in the field, but you've had waves of success and waves of speed in this race. It's been a lot about the draft, and you were up there in the lead group before things got a little bit spread out. You're in the top 10 right now. Who's the leader, and what's the strategy for you from here to the end?
The 40 truck is currently the leader, and the strategy is just run it out, hopefully get a caution and subtract it back.
Where are you exactly on the running order, and how far ahead of you is that lead group of trucks?
Out of 4, and out of 1.
Oh, okay, and you are in position
9.
All right, so I knew you were in the top 10. I just wanted to get a better idea on where you were. So that must mean that Beam SKP behind you is running in the 10th position. And just in front of you is Cameron Norton. He must be scored in 8th. The laps are winding down, and a lot of these drivers have had their turn to be up there in the lead group and battling for the lead and for the win here at Michigan. But right now, it's Dustin Franklin leading the way. He's led a lot of laps in this one. He and Jordan Roughton in the 17 have probably led the most laps of anyone else in this race. And right now, this is what the battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th looks like. Jesse Carlson in the 88 truck on the inside, getting a push from the 17 of Jordan Roughton, and Ayrton Frederick, who's short pit. This most recent cycle of pit stops is right there with them, battling for those 2nd, 3rd, and 4th positions. Jeffrey Robinson Jr., the 51, is still scored in 5th, we should let you know, but he's kind of lost touch with this group here. Nick Don Francesco in the 24 is scored in the 6th position, and he's gaining ground slowly on Jeffrey Robinson Jr. We'll get a laps to go update from Alex Tesdall the next time he crosses the line, and we'll start counting down. Oh, 5? Okay. 5 laps to go for Dustin Franklin, and right now he's working his way through 3 and 4, and so coming out of 4 laps to go when he hits the line. I've been blown away all race long by the amount of drivers running so far up the leaderboard that are looking for their first ever NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series win, and Dustin Franklin is one of them. He's been up there all race long, and he's shown good speed since the drop of the green flag. He's worked his way through the traffic, and he's negotiated the draft very well all race long, and it's paid off for him. He's got the lead, he's got good track position, and nobody's challenging him. He's not in a group of trucks where they're all fighting for the lead. He's on his own. He's been able to break the draft and drive away. He's been smart about his pit strategy. And it could be his night And Jordan Roughton is another driver I want to give a call to. He was looking for his first win as well. Led the most laps in this race and still up there running in second. Has a shot to win if a caution were to come out. But overall, a strong run for the driver of the 17. Should give a call to Jeffrey Robinson Jr. Looking for his first ever truck win as well. Scored in the 5th position. He's been up and down the leaderboard all race long. He's had to fight back a couple of different times, but he's been able to each and every single time. And he's going to walk away with a top 5 finish if all holds station. And they're coming out of 4 to take the white flag, I believe. Right, Alex?
2 to go.
Ah, thank you. And back up front we go. We'll stay on him for the rest of this race. Only a lap and a half to go for him now. He's working his way down the back straightaway. He was able to get around Timmy Brown in the 8. Now he's heading into turn 3. No traffic for Dustin to worry about for the rest of this one. He's got 2 more sets of corners, folks. 1 lap remaining. The white flag has been shown. Final lap at Michigan for the Great Lakes 200. It's the last regular season race of the season. 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series hosted here on NASCAR Heat 5. 20 drivers started this race. 16 of them are still logging laps on the racetrack right now. Still a good battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th as well between Jordan Roughton, Ayrton Frederick, and Jesse Carlson and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. But it's all about Dustin Franklin, it seems. It's his night. He's come so close, so many times to getting one of these NOSSCAR wins. It's his first ever NOSSCAR win in any of NOSSCAR's series. Dustin Franklin wins the Great Lakes 200 at Michigan. The fans are on their feet. You can hear them in the front straightaway. And I believe it was Ayrton Frederick that's going to claim the 2nd position, with Jordan Roughton getting 3rd. Jesse Carlson is going to finish in 4th. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in 5th. Don't forget the results, Alex, and I'll make sure that we get the top 5 in there for post-race interviews.
Top 5 is Dust, Ayrton, EC, Oof, and Juice.
Phenomenal race by all of those drivers, by everybody involved, really. A lot of different drivers got up there, worked their way through this field, had a shot to win this race. There's a wreck at the start-finish line, actually. But when it was all said and done, it was Dustin Franklin capturing the win. Driving the Plan B sales truck there, and he's been wanting one of these NOSSCAR wins for so long. He's been racing part-time in a couple of different NOSSCAR leagues for a little over a calendar year now, and he's finally entering the full-time season for NOSSCAR Motormaster Series. Made the playoffs for Mondays, Motormaster Mondays. Did not enter enough races in the trucks here on Tuesdays to be playoff eligible. But still a feel-good moment for Dustin Franklin and that entire number 40 team. I know that a lot of his friends are watching the stream and plan to. And a proud moment for Dustin Franklin. Post-race interviews coming up. Stay with us, folks. We're going to get to hear from our top 5 finishers from Michigan. Fastest lap of the race goes to Jordan Roughton in the 17. Hold on, hold on. And we're going to begin the post-race interviews now, folks. The driver of the number 88 Ford F-150, Jesse Carlson, parked it in 4th place at the end of the day here for the Great Lakes 200 at Michigan. Had a good chance to win this one, and it was a wild one out there. Jesse, we wanted to bring you in here and ask you, you had a strong run all race long. We knew the draft was going to be a big factor in who won this thing, but it seemed like the longer the green flag run went there in the final stage, the more everybody kind of got spread out throughout the cycle of pit stops somehow. What was it that kind of got you to lose the track of the 40 truck and get in a battle there for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th?
Well, start off with stage 1. It was a nice stage win. I'm just trying to work with everyone, and it was just racing hard up there, like really, really hard. And stage 2, it was like another race, and there's cautions in there. And last stage, after the caution fest ended, I was just depending on pushing the people that we were with and all that. And after whenever we pitted, I think he got like a 15.0 or something because he like took off. Like we could not catch dust, and I was trying to work with Landshark and PC and Juicy, and it's just tough when you got someone that's trying to dive bomb and all that and not work together. It's just I tried to help Landshark, and he didn't seem like he wanted it. It was a good finish.
3 wins
sputtered to the line.
3 wins for you this season. You're locked into the playoffs. You've had a strong season not only for the trucks but for Motormaster as well, and you've already got a strong start to the Cup Series season as well. Things just seem to be going right for you here in NOSSCAR on NASCAR Heat 5. What has the key to your success been, and how excited are you to be a part of the Truck Series playoffs this year?
Yeah, I'm just excited. I am honestly excited to be in it. I'm still gonna race clean just because I'm in the playoffs. Doesn't mean what I say. I might not race. I may race crazy, but I inside am a good driver, and I block all those. I'm gonna boot you and all that. I'm just here to race, and yeah, I'm here to help people try to win and all that, but. Yeah.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in your campaign for the championship this year in the Truck Series, and congratulations on your top 5 finish here tonight at Michigan.
Thank you.
Moving forward with the post-race interviews, we have Jordan Roughton, driver of the number 17 Ford F-150, and unofficial results have you 3rd at the end of the day here, and you led a lot of laps in this race. It was a chaotic race. The draft was very important. There was a group of 3 or 4 trucks there battling to try to maybe run down Dustin Franklin for the win there at the end. But it seemed like you guys were busy preoccupied battling with each other instead of maybe running down the leader. What was going through your mind battling for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th? Did you think you could have caught Dustin Franklin if you got clear of the traffic?
Yeah, but 45 and 26 had other plans. It's a typical thing with them two. But glad that's my best friend. I mean, glad he won. It's 2 races in a row, I told you. I'd probably have a shot at. And I can't thank Oof enough. And, you know, he really worked with me a lot. Brett as well. And Juicy. And that was a lot of fun. Just glad if I didn't win it, my best friend does. So that's always a plus. But I mean, I ran out of gas on the last lap and got up in the 45 and the oof. on the last corner, but I honestly don't really feel bad for running them 26 up either. So, just gonna be completely honest with you, I'm tired of it. He wrecked a lot of people, run people over, and I'm just tired of it. Like I told Oof, I honestly don't even know if I want to continue racing because at the point, it's fun to run. I love this. I love racing with y'all. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good guys in here. But when stuff like that didn't happen, I'm not complaining. I'm not the one to complain. But I mean, you run a great league. It's a lot of fun. But I'm not just frustrated because I didn't win. Like I said, I'm really glad Dustin won. Someone who's really, who's very competitive, clean, doesn't, keeps his nose clean. I just get tired of racing just people who don't really care. I mean, I know I'm not the best, but I don't know, man. At this point, I don't even know if I want to continue racing, honestly. It's a lot of fun, but I mean, it is what it is. But I had a lot of fun. I'm glad you let me race. It's a lot, like I said, great track, great race all overall, but I don't know.
You're in the playoffs for the trucks. You were striving for that all season long. You started the season a little bit late, but you managed to get your way there. Tell us how you feel being involved in the 2021 playoffs, and tell us how it feels to have a chance to go out there and win your first ever championship here in NASCAR.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good people out here. I mean, I didn't expect. Like I said, I just showed up to have fun. There's a lot more people. There's a lot of people who put a lot more effort into this than I do. I just show up to have fun, race with a bunch of good group of guys. I'm very thankful that I made it with a lot of talented guys in here. But like I said, we'll see how it goes. If it gets to the point where it ain't no fun for me, I'll just let everybody else have it and have a good time. But we're gonna try to go for this championship. But it is what it is. And I'm just grateful that I got the opportunity for letting me race in not only trucks, Motormaster, and Platinum Cup. So I just appreciate it. I'm just glad to be here, honestly.
Congratulations on a strong run tonight at Michigan.
Thanks, brother.
And moving forward, the driver who finished runner-up here in this race, the driver of the 45 Chevy Silverado, he led a lot of laps in this one. Ayrton Frederick, coming off a strong win recently in the Truck Series, also back at Road America, I believe it was. He has 2 NASCAR Truck Series wins under his belt here on his resume, and he was going for number 3 tonight. Nearly got the job done. Ayrton, walk us through your race and tell us how it was from behind the wheel in the number 45 truck versus, watching from the broadcast booth up here. Looked like you had your hands full. Looked like a lot of fast trucks out there. What was going through your mind all race long?
Well, I just want to say, like the 17 said, shout out to the 40. If it wasn't going to be to win, I'm proud of him. It's a truck on my team, and he was the only truck I was comfortable with behind me or in front of me. I led a lot of laps, especially in stage 2, and it was just a lot of mirror driving. Guys sitting up the inside, guys making it 3 wide, and way too early in the race. And like Oof said, people were just kind of preoccupied trying to gain positions rather than work together. I think if me and the 45 and maybe someone else grouped up, we could have just drove off together. I said it to you guys did that in stage 1. I said that's a good idea, and I don't think anybody else did, it seems like. But it was a lot of mirror driving. Stayed up front through stage 3, and I tried to go for an overcut after getting pushed to the outside by a certain truck that's already been mentioned, and that kind of knocked me back. So I tried to pit a lap later and get some clean air, but I ran out of gas going into turn 3, and that cost me some time. So I pit real early on the last stop of the race, but just wasn't enough to catch the 40. So a lot of selfish racing, myself included. A very messy race. It was a lot of fun fighting the truck, but I'm getting used to being one of the faster guys and not quite being there. But it's always good to run up front.
Ran up front a lot tonight, that's for sure. And honestly, every time we bring the trucks, especially on the preset sliders to Michigan, it kind of looks like a Talladega or a Daytona race out there. The draft seems to be the main factor, and it seems to be pack racing for most of the race. I saw you in a 16-truck pack battling for the lead pretty much all race long until we had that long green flag run in the final stage. Does it feel like Talladega or Daytona when you're out there racing, or is that just how it looks from here in the booth?
Yeah, it was a pretty similar vibe, blocking 2-3 lanes at a time. Only difference is you got to let off in the corners, and some guys weren't, and some guys were letting off too late, and it was just overdriving it into other guys on their outside. It was basically a pack race, so that's why it got so messy. And when you're in a big pack like that, things are bound to go wrong.
Well, do you have any shout-outs you want to give before we move on to Victory Lane?
Like I said, the 40 truck and my crew chief, my dog. Thanks to her for sticking with me.
All right, then. You heard it from Ayrton Frederick thanking the 40 truck and the dog, the crew chief. Got to remember that. And congratulations to Ayrton on a second-place finish, and we're moving to Victory Lane now. I can't believe it, folks, but it's finally happened. The driver of the number 40, Dustin Franklin, has parked it in Victory Lane. He is a NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series race winner. He wins the Great Lakes 200 here at Michigan. First of all, congratulations. I can only imagine what's going through your mind right now and the thoughts that were going through your mind on the last few laps. And take us through the final stage. We saw a long green flag run there, but before it got too long of a run, you were still right there in that pack of trucks battling for the lead. How were you able to take the lead and slowly kind of drive away from them and just kind of survive those last 2 cycles of pit stops?
I mean, hell yeah, first NOSSCAR win. How about that? I mean, Jesus. My crew definitely brought me a fast truck, qualified on the pole. Stage 1, like lap 3, for whatever reason, I decided to turn left. I guess I was already out in the Victory Lane down there and went through the grass in the front stretch and fell back to like 13th. And like within a lap, I was back to 8th, and then somebody hit the apron in front of me and got a little bit damaged and short pitted it and got back up to 6th for the stage 1, and then I mean, the 45 pretty much summed it up. It was everybody being selfish. There wasn't a single point in that race that I was committed to pushing somebody. Hey, if somebody was committed to pushing me at PC Panthers, Jordan Roten, in 17, if he was committed to pushing me, we were going to go to the front. But other than that, I didn't commit to pushing nobody. I didn't push nobody. I just drove to the damn front.
And it was that kind of the plan from the start of this race for you? You knew coming into this that it was going to be a lot about the draft and pack racing. There were 16 of you in one pack battling for the win pretty much all race long. Was that your plan entering this race? Don't work with no one and get to the front somehow at all costs?
I see it as it's easier to keep them behind you than it is to pass them.
What line was working best for your truck out there?
Well, I mean, if I was by myself in clean air, I was sticking it to that white line down at the bottom in the corners. But, I mean, if I was back in the pack running 8th, 9th, whatever, I could get the outside lane to work because everybody would move back up to the outside on the straightaway, so I'd get that draft, and it would just stick on the outside line, and I'd be able to get a big run off the corner. But leading at Michigan, you gotta plan it on that white line and keep it there.
We went caution-free in Stage 1. I think we saw 1 in Stage 2, and then we saw 2 in the final stage there. Did you want the runs to be long green flag runs? Did your truck get better as the race went on, or were you liking those quick restarts?
I started off the run a little tight. Just because I know how Michigan is, I love the racetracks. Probably one of my best racetracks on the game, and I know how snappy loose it can get on into a run. So I started off a little tight. So yeah, later in the run, it definitely felt a lot better. And then once I was able to get some pit stops in, make some adjustments, it was on rails. And Stage 3 right there, once I started building that gap up, I think they were actually catching me a little bit coming to the first pit stop in Stage 3, but I had a stellar pit stop, barely missed speeding on the entry, and had just timed it perfect getting on the pit road. And I think I gained a little time, and then all them just racing in the back. I was kind of bored up there in the front by myself. I wanted to race somebody.
Did you have this track circled on your calendar? Is this one of your better tracks? Did you think you had a chance to win this one coming into tonight's race?
Not really, because I just kind of hopped online and asked where we were racing. They were like, Michigan. I was like, oh, dope. And then I qualified on the pole, and I said, oh, I might have something for these boys tonight.
Well, you proved that you did. You parked it in victory lane. You have a win now in NOSSCAR. It's not in the series that you're going for the championship in, but you just recently made the playoffs for the NOSSCAR Motormaster Series on Mondays as well. Tell us about that and tell us how happy you are to go out there and compete for a championship.
Oh, Jesus, man. I was just listening to the other interviews thinking I've been on a streak the last 2 days, got lucky, snuck into the playoffs in the Motormaster Series, and then came out and won tonight. And I don't know if I'd say dominating fashion, but I led a good portion of Stage 3 there. But I think it turned out being like a barely got into the playoffs in the Motormaster Series after missing like first 8 or 9 races by 2 points. I mean, that racing gods looked out for me this week, I'll tell you that one.
You're on a bit of a roll, that's for sure. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go celebrate in victory lane with your team?
Well, I mean, I liked working with the 17. Like he said, I mean, we went to high school together, been best friends for a long time, and at these big, nice drafting tracks where you're all but full throttle, I mean, he's one hell of a pusher, and I can push him too, and we'll go to the front every time. And then that 88, he's helped me along the way, especially with road courses. Me and him would get online, practice road courses and all, and he was fast tonight, and following him and him pushing me, we were fast too. But I mean, other than that, man, I didn't work with nobody. I was going to the front. I didn't care what it took.
You heard it from him, guys. Congratulations, Dustin. Go celebrate with your team, buddy.
Appreciate it, buddy.
That was Dustin Franklin, the driver of the number 40 Chevy Silverado, finally getting that elusive first win here in NOSSCAR, and it came in the form of a NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series victory at Michigan International Speedway. And what a win it was. Led a lot of laps in this one. Showed great speed and showed good patience when he was in the pack. When pack racing, there was, like I mentioned this, there were 16 drivers battling for the lead in one big pack for most of this race, and it was arguably one of the more exciting races of the season to watch. Throwing it down to the in-race reporter, driver of the number 98 Ford F-150, Alex Tesdall. Alex, you were up there in the thick of things as well for a while. You found your way inside the top 5 for a while. Where did you end up finishing? I haven't seen the final race results photos yet, and describe your race for us.
Ended up bringing the truck home in 8th, and overall, I feel like we had the speed to go up there and run with the leaders. Just certain field love to shove people out of the way, and just got caught up in a few incidents and could never get the track position back, and still brought it home for a top 10, so I can't complain too much.
Salvaged the top 10, and that's honestly what winning a championship is all about. Whenever something bad happens and it's not your day, salvaging a good finish and getting good points is the key. And getting a good finish on those good days is also the key. What do you think of your chances coming up to the playoffs? You've made the playoffs not only here for the trucks, but for Motormaster as well. And tell us a little bit more about that.
Even though we've got the wins in the Motormaster Series, I feel like I'll have a better shot here in the trucks to make a championship run, because I'm definitely more consistent. Just need to turn that luck around a little bit, like I said about Motormaster. Just playoffs have started, can't really settle for top 10s anymore, gotta go for the wins.
Absolutely, and we wish you the best of luck with that, and congratulations on a top 10 here tonight. That was Alex Tesdall. Once again, congratulations to Dustin Franklin and that entire number 40 team. And congratulations to the rest of the drivers in the top 5 and the top 10. It was a great night of racing here for the NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series. You guys saw the Eldora Derby 150 earlier tonight. And you also saw the Great Lakes 200 here at Michigan. And that'll end off the regular season for the 2021 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series on NASCAR Heat 5. Sure, what do you got?
I'm going to drink a lot of beer tonight.
Excellent. That's going to do it, folks. From all of us here at NOSSCAR, I'm Tyler McMurder, and thank you for joining us for the Great Lakes 200 at Michigan. Good night, everybody, and stay fast.